Hey, this is my last attempt at doing this video. I've tried like 4 times to get it right and I keep forgetting stuff, so maybe this will be the time I finally remember all the information that I'm trying to convey. But this is my 2007 Jeep Patriot that I've converted into a camping setup with its own solar system. And I had a friend asking me what exactly went into that, and so I figured I'd make a video, but I'll probably just put it on YouTube, so anybody that's curious to see what went into that can. These are both 230 watt solar panels, so together it's a 460 watt system. And I got these used at a pretty steep discount, and I personally had good luck there because I think they're doing everything they need to be doing. So the way you sort of figure power for these is you assume for solar an average of like 5 hours worth of full sun in a given day. So in a given day, 460 watts times 5 hours is 2,300 watt hours. And if I keep forgetting to do this, if I can remember to show you guys the battery capacity, I'll kind of show you how that compares to the discharge capacity on the battery. This is how I have them clipped to my roof. The car came standard with this plastic roof rack. I got 2 pieces of thick strut and 2 pieces of thin strut. I drilled holes in the frame of these 2 solar panels and I bolted them in to the thick strut with a strut nut, which I can't show it, but it sits inside the top grooves and holds on to the bolt, which holds on to the panels. And then I had a friend help me sit it on top of the pre-existing roof rack, and then I used this thin piece of strut and I slid it underneath and I scraped the shit out of my roof and I sandwiched them together with bolts, and it's both kind of flexible but surprisingly sturdy, and it doesn't really rattle around or anything when I drive around, even at highway speeds. And so far that's worked great. I have one of the leads from each of these. I'm just going to say the positive from this panel is clipped to the negative from this panel, and then what would be the positive from this panel and the negative from this first panel both go together through this, what's called a cord grip, through this hole that I drilled in the ceiling. They both go through there together. It was really fun drilling a hole in the roof of my car. I could feel the resale value drain from it when I did that, so that was a blast. This cord grip is cool. It keeps water out, but it's not like this is glued into place or anything, so I can still kind of slide it in and out through this rubber gasket. And speaking of keeping water out, I got really lucky, and I didn't plan this at all, but the amount of overhang that I have from these panels over top of my windows means that I can keep the windows down a little bit even when it's raining, and I really don't have to worry much about rainwater getting into the windows. Okay, so I feel like I explained everything I meant to then. So these are obviously the solar panel wires as they travel through the roof of the car down to this disconnect switch. And so right now I'm powering this fan off of solar. So if I cut the power coming in from the solar panels, which is what this switch does, the fan keeps running, and that's because the solar panels don't power it directly. What they do is they charge a battery, and that's lucky for me because that means I still have power even at night. So from this switch, the wires go in through a charge controller, which keeps me from overcharging the battery. And I have no idea really how that works. As far as I'm concerned, it's magic, but there's directions online, but I sized it based off these numbers, based off, I forget exactly what, but it was something to do with the battery voltage, maybe? I actually don't even quite remember. There's instructions though for all of this online. There's a lot of resources, so you can figure out how to size all this online. Same with the wire sizes that I use. There are formulas for all of this, and there are people that have even made like calculators for all of this that you can just plug values into. So this is the deep cycle lead acid battery that I used. I wanted to remember to talk about how much capacity this has, because I talked about how much generating capacity the solar panels have. So I said 2,300 watt hours is what I'm producing, and 2,400, you can fully discharge these deep cycle batteries. They're designed to do that, unlike a car battery. So from completely full to completely empty, I have about the same number of watt hours. It's measured in amp hours, but it's 12 volts. So 12 times 200 amp hours, which is what this battery is 2,400 watt hours. So about the amount of power I can produce in a day is about the amount that it takes to fully charge or uncharge this battery. So from those same terminals that are feeding the charge on this battery, I'm also charging with these much thicker battery cables. This beefy boy, a 3,000 watt inverter, which is way bigger than anything you need for this. I just bought a big one for future projects. And before it gets there, before it gets to the terminals on the inverter, which I've taped off extensively for safety, it goes through these fuses. So these prevent, these will blow before anything like burns down. They're sized to protect this battery cable. And this, the inverter turns all the direct current power that's coming in off the battery at a 12 volt power into 120 volt alternating current power, which is what you use to run pretty much any kind of small home appliance. So anything that would plug into just a normal outlet in your house can run off of this thing. And right now I'm running this this fan, and I also have plugged in this mini fridge, and this system can confidently run both of these all day, and then it can also charge my phone, and it can run my laptop. And that's pretty much the ins and outs of what I have going on for the electrical stuff. And then I also was going to take a second to show you how I clipped some rope into the interior paneling of my car, and that's so that I can have curtains, and I can just draw these curtains closed and have a little bit of privacy. So that's also part of my camping setup. And